There is one law that has the potential to change your life tremendously for better or for worse. If you can deeply understand this law, your process of evolution will see no limits. But of course, just if you learn how to properly apply this law to your favor. This concept is called the mirror law, and with it, you will be able to become into that person you aspire to be. And really, I'm not exaggerating. This is true facts. I personally use this principle and I know it works. And when I start getting complacent and I stop practicing it actively, I quickly see my abundance, my prosperity, and I see that my health starts seeing a big decline. That is why the mirror law has become part of my everyday life. It really comes with me wherever I go. Literally at this point, I can say it's part of who I am. Thanks for stopping by. My name is Tucci. Welcome. And if you really want to see a particular part of this video, here I will be leaving the timestamps. Let's start with a definition. The law of attraction states that the outer world is just a pure reflection of our inner world. And that means that we have the power to transform our reality. If we don't like the reality we see, this law emphasizes on the importance to change our own image rather than trying to manipulate the reflection we see. The mirror of reality reflects our beliefs about ourselves and our beliefs about the world, reinforcing what we already think and perceive. Life is just this big mirror that reflects back our dominant thoughts and beliefs. For example, if you think, I am a loser, this mirror will reflect back to you in life being a loser. The mirror amplifies reasons that confirm what we already believe and perceive about ourselves. So, if we do not like what we see, we must change what we project to the mirror. Basically, your identity and your worldview are absolutely shaped by your conscious and subconscious choices. By transforming our limiting beliefs and cultivating an empowering inner state is that we can finally manifest our desires. When you understand this law and you start applying it into your life, you will instantly be opening the doors for your self-development and personal growth from side to side. Reality is a mirror, and this means various different things. First of all, it means that if you do not like what you see, that means you are not happy with who you are. But I get it, this sounds super harsh, and it's a million times easier to think that the problems are outside because that means nothing is our fault and nothing is our responsibility. This way, we can wash our hands and be proud of how remarkably good we are. But are we really that good? The statement, reality is a mirror, also means that we can change what this mirror reflects. But how? If you transform yourself, you will see a different reality reflected, since internal changes always reflect external changes. For example, if I change for better and then I start applying boundaries to people for self-care and self-preservation, then all of a sudden I will be more confident. Why? Because it takes some level of confidence to go and be telling people things like, excuse me, I know this is your opinion, but please do not force it on me. Or another example of setting boundaries could be something like, when you call me like that in front of my friends, you embarrass me. I do not find that joke funny. Could you please stop? Or let's say you go to visit a friend and you say, listen, I can stay here 1 hour and after that I have to leave. These have all been examples of setting boundaries, and I know you might think, wow, those examples have been so naive, but you will be absolutely surprised to know how much people out there cannot even set the most simple boundaries to others because they are afraid, because they want to be loved no matter what, because they do not have confidence to stand and say what they like and what they do not like. So let's say there is that person that went from doing everything to fit in to now set boundaries. Now, because this person is firm, it's more confident, because this person shows some level of self-respect, what will happen? There will have to be external changes that align with those internal changes. So let's say it's been you, the one who changed for better. Now, then all of a sudden, maybe someone who never noticed you before, now that same person is like, wow, look at that girl. She has some character. I like her. Or another change that can happen is that you work in one department and they transfer you to another department. And of course, you will be surrounded with different people. I don't know which specific changes will happen to your life, but please rest assured that internal changes will always generate external changes, as simple as it sounds. But is it easy to change? No. Easy, it's to remain the same. But if reality is a mirror and we want to manipulate what that mirror reflects, we will have to reinvent ourselves. We need to create a new self. That's the only way to shape the external reality in a positive way. Let's talk a bit about science. We have a group of neurons in our neural cortex that are called mirror neurons. A mirror neuron will just activate under two circumstances: when we are experiencing something or when we are watching someone experiencing something. These neurons do not know the difference between a real life scenario experience or if you are watching a movie, and that's why you can be there lying in a couch watching an action movie and your heart might be racing and your muscles are tense, but you are just lying there because the mirror neurons do not perceive any difference on real life or not. Imagine what happens when you are there watching a relaxing nature documentary. These mirror neurons will activate and then they will begin sending your body the signals to facilitate the healing that they believe they are having. Moral value of this? Well, use your mirror neurons to your favor. Meditate, and in those meditations, envision yourself where you really want to be. And then your neurons will have no clue you are not really there at the moment. How can I bridge the gap between my real life and my desired life? We must persist in our desired identity and beliefs long enough so our goals manifest. This means staying faithful to the identity and the worldview we have created until our desire reveals itself. The problem is that we establish an identity expecting quick results, but they won't appear immediately. Then our mood and our belief decrease. So just as our mood hits rock bottom, our desire manifests. However, it just reflects our current negativity. The key is to stick firmly to your desired identity and beliefs, because who you pretend to be is who you will become, just and only just if you are extremely focused. Life has constant up and downs for absolutely everybody, but the key is to keep on working on your goals even when you're sad, even when you're absolutely heartbroken. This is the only way to create a real lifelong change. Ride the waves, persisting in your vision. By continuously laser focusing on your desires and improving aspects of your life that align with your chosen identity, you can bridge the gap, creating unexpected opportunities and a great transformation. But for this, there has to be an absolute congruence with what you do every minute of your day and with whom you want to become. If you want to become rich, it's not enough to just envision yourself there becoming rich. Your daily habits have to be spot on. You need to be efficient, active, you need to be hungry for learning new things as much as you can. You have to be hard worker, methodical. You have to be very organized to be able to get into a business that can create a lot of money for you and your family. Changing one's worldview from scarcity to abundance can lead to a shift in opportunities and a more fulfilling life. For example, let's talk about money. For me, there's absolute no doubt that the poor are getting poorer and the richer are getting richer. Because the poor focus on what they don't have and what they don't want. The poor people complain constantly, whereas the rich people focus on what they have and what they want. And they constantly act on their ideas. They take action. The more you take action in life, the more chances of fucking it all up that you will encounter, but also the more chances of scoring a great goal that you will have. Today I went to the supermarket and there is always a homeless guy in the entrance. And as I was leaving the supermarket, I saw how this absolutely beautiful Ferrari was parking, and the homeless guy in the entrance shouts, "Life has just been made for people like this." As if you have a Ferrari and then all of a sudden the doors of heaven open from side to side and you live in paradise 24/7 ever after. The mindset of a poor person and the mindset of a rich person are absolutely different, and that's exactly why they live the most possible opposite realities. Once I was reading this article that said something like this: if you grab all the people of the whole entire world and you take all their money away, and then you count all this money, and then you give back to everybody the exact same amount of money, then in just 5 years, whoever was poor before receiving the same money as everybody else will be poor again. And whoever was rich before assigning the same money for everybody will be rich again. Why? Because it's all here. Most people are there thinking about what they don't want, and then they are wondering why it shows up over and over again. Continuously complaining about what we don't like just causes more of that negativity to show up, confirming our pessimistic perspective. To initiate change, you must appreciate your present, your health, your progress, your loved ones. The key is to constantly concentrating on your aspirations rather than your complaints. When you observe the present, maybe all you see is toxic friends or a romantic relationship that doesn't feel right in the slightest. Maybe you have a job that doesn't align in the slightest with your likings or with your purpose in life, or maybe you have a salary that doesn't even cover your basic expenses. But please bear in mind that this is exactly what you have presented in the past to the mirror of reality, and that is why you are seeing this reality reflected right now. Once the image is formed, the mirror has no choice but to reflect it. This cycle is like an addiction that keeps most people trapped. Most people will live continuously observing and remaining stuck in the same old negative repetitive patterns. To break this negative cycle, we must concentrate on the image we want to create and turn away from the reflection and current reality. We must realize our present comes from past choices. If you want to shape tomorrow consciously, choose your identity today. Just declare, this is what I want, this is who I am. The mirror then must slowly start reflecting that. But please do not feel discouraged if initial changes are very subtle and very delayed. You must remain firm. We must confirm the little changes when they are reflected back to us, no matter how small they seem. Ignore everything else. By intentionally forming and confirming your image, the reflection must align over time. The mirror principle has no limits or agenda. It simply reflects what we show it. We have the ability to innovate, to transcend limitations, to manifest the life we envision. The only limits are imposed by our own limiting beliefs. When you're able to understand and therefore internalize this principle, the way you see life will automatically change. You will start seeing that you are not a victim of anyone and that you are not a victim of your life circumstances. If something, you are a victim of your own mind, because the cause of everything that you go through resides inside yourself. All of a sudden, all your problems and all the challenges you have to face become into massive sources of knowledge for you. Those negative emotions that other people make you feel will help you massively to disentangle what is in your subconscious mind. Imagine you had an argument with someone. Then, if you reflect objectively on what happened, you will start slowly pulling from that ball of wool that represents your own mind. If you pull from this ball of wool, you will be healing something, a bond that is bleeding inside you. Also, if you pull from this ball of wool, maybe you realize you need to allow yourself to do something that you are repressing. And what does this mean? Okay, let's say you are a yes person. You always try to make others happy. But then when those people that you're always helping do not help you back and they disrespect you, using the mirror law, what you can do is to do some introspection and realize that you are repressing something. If you are a people pleaser, then you're repressing your own desires just for the sake of making someone else like you, just for the sake of belonging somewhere. Okay, it's time to put all this theory into practice. Now I invite you to set very clear long-term goals to change your future. What do you want to achieve? Please write 10 bullet points in a paper, in a phone note, something that you have always in hand so you can read and reread which are your goals. But listen to me, please. This has to be just 10 bullet points, very concise, very clear. Do not please go there and start writing a 5 pages essay, because that will just means that you have a lot of confusion in your head. You need to be able to very concisely tell what do you want in life. Do not try to achieve everything at the same time. You need to focus on priorities. Otherwise, all your efforts will dilute into way too many different directions and you will not move forward at all. You will remain stuck. You write this list, and now you have to keep in mind that life will always, from now to the end of our lives, life will always be there testing your strength and your willingness to overcome difficulties. So maintaining that focus and that positive mindset to achieve those goals on those days that are absolutely mentally challenging is what will set you absolutely apart from 95% of the population. So when you're in a low, you take out your phone, you go to this note and you read your 10 goals. And you remember what is it that you are fighting for. Have this list, as I say, in your phone and check it every now and then, not just when you're in a low, in the good days, in the bad days. It has to become a habit, a very healthy habit. When you focus on being the best person you can be, you will be there drawing the best possible life opportunities for you. Now I will quickly summarize the concept of this video. If you use the mirror law to your favor, you will be healing your dark side and you will be saving yourself from tons of unnecessary pain. You will be naturally getting away from toxic extremes to naturally relocate in the center, in the balance, where you will find peace, wisdom, and tranquility. You will finally understand that the external world has tons of information for your self-development. But if you think that the mirror law is useless, then you will go through life kicking the same stones again and again, decades after decades. Be smart. Open the doors for all the information that your environment constantly reveals. Your life purpose is to treat yourself with love and respect, and that is just something you can achieve with self-knowledge, taking consciousness by stopping the automatic self-destructive patterns and by reorganizing your internal world. It all starts with you and it all ends with you. I would like to finish this video sharing a poem, a fragment of a poem from Donna Ashworth. It is a poem dedicated from a mom to a daughter, but in my opinion is so insightful and so well written that to me it really represents any relationship where there is pure unconditional love. And I will read it. It goes like this. I hope with all my heart that I show you the real me, that I didn't pretend I had it all together, or that life was not hard. And I hope I let you see me break so you could understand it's not an ending, it's rather a step. And it's vital. We are not here to be perfect. We are here to love, to grow stronger and more right with every generation. Grow brighter, my love, brighter than me. And when I can no longer be with you, remember, myself live within you. You cannot ever lose me.